Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Everybody's having a great week. For you guys, this will be day of it being Friday. Trying to get things pieced up together for NBA 2K23 My Career to finally start up on Saturday. We will be starting up the NBA playoffs. I talked to Kush down in the comments below about just go ahead and hopping right into the NBA playoffs. We'll do the NBA playoffs, hopefully win a championship, start up the off season, and then hopefully about roughly, I figured it to be at the end of October, about maybe at the very most of mid-November is when we'll finish up the first season. Hopefully at the beginning of December is when we'll start up a whole new series, start doing live streams in November, and then in December we'll start doing live streams of rec games, park games, pro-am games, and focus on those in general, which I'll talk in more depth of that in a future video. But I thought this is time for us to get the final piece, that being the 1 through 15 NBA team seedings predictions first, and 11 through 15 right as of now, starting with the Jazz at 15, the Spurs, the Rockets, the Thunder, and the Lakers at 11. The Jazz are purposely tanking after getting rid of Donovan Mitchell for three first round picks. I want to say 4. Rudy Gobert for 4 first round picks. They got rid of Bojan Bogdanovich's contract, and they got a bunch of role players. They are purposely tanking. With the other 3 teams ahead of them, they are a young, already rebuilding team, that being the San Antonio Spurs, who have Jokic Poeltl. You have Jabari Smith, because that's on the Rockets. Jokic Poeltl, Keldon Johnson, Joshua Primo, Sohan. I really want to see Sohan step it up and help get the Spurs to be where they were, 6 years ago? Probably. That'd be 2016. Probably even sooner or later than that. 2016, about 8 years ago, when they last won the championship in 2014. I'd like to see them try to get back in the flow of things, because Popovich is going to retire eventually. Then next up would be the Houston Rockets, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green. They went and have Kevin Porter Jr. still. Kenyon Martin Jr., who was wanting to get traded, Jason Tate, Sangwan. They have a great young roster, but I think a key player, or get another really young player to go along this team, they're going to start racking up wins, and they'll start to get to where they're going to be in the playoffs and possibly become title contenders. I think I got Victor Wembanyama. Or the Evan Scooter, I think, will help them just jump up significantly, and they'll be playoff contenders. And that's the same with the Thunder. I think a Chet Holmgren, along with a Evan Scooter or the Victor kid, would be huge. You got after this year, because of Chet Holmgren being hurt, I think they're gonna be tanking once more. They already have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under a good contract. Lou Dort was willing to take a pay cut, a huge pay cut. I liked him a lot. I'm surprised he was willing to sacrifice as much money as he did. Pokusevski, they got rid of Derek Favors. He went to the Rockets. They got pretty much like nothing significant in return. And then not the most shocking, to an extent it is shocking, but the Lakers at 11, they kept Westbrook. They did not improve any shooting. They didn't really do much in off-season moves. They went and got Darvin Ham as their head coach. He's trying to fit a certain scheme to help Westbrook on his defense. Westbrook is willing to sacrifice so many shots to have a higher percentage of shots, a higher percentage of making shots versus having a ton of shots, is what he had talked about. Wonder about the health of both Anthony Davis and LeBron, which is sad to hear me say that for the fact that Anthony Davis should not be talked about when it comes to health because he's a young player. He's in the prime of his career. LeBron is, again, Father Time wins all. No matter what you do in this lifetime, Father Time wins all. And LeBron, when playing games, he is still LeBron James, one of the greatest players of all time. But health is starting to catch up with him. Ever since he went to the Lakers, his groin is just constantly being hurt. He's starting to have some bad hamstrings. Father Time wins all. He's still able to play 30-plus minutes a game, 36 minutes a game, but Father Time is starting to catch up, and you can tell that since he went to the Lakers, that time's winning on him, and so it's not looking good. And for them to be 11th, to me, is not a good sign for the Lakers. Next up, we have the play-in tournament teams being the Sacramento Kings, a very young squad. I love the addition of Keegan Murray. That was huge for them. Porter at the 2, Harrison Barnes at the 3, Keegan Murray at the 4, Fox at the 1, and then Sabonis at the 5. They still have Raquan Holmes, Davion Mitchell. They got a very young, good squad, and I think it's time for them to actually make in the play-in tournament. The question now becomes, is their defense. Them getting Keegan Murray, I think, helped their perimeter shooting. They're actually be able to shoot 3-pointers with him and Porter. They're going to improve their shooting. The question now becomes their defense, especially their post defense. As an Indiana Pacers fan, Sabonis is not good at defending the rim. He's one of the better rebounders in the league, but the rim protection is where the concerns become. That the perimeter defense is good. Fox is a good defender, not a great defender. Porter is a good defender, not a great defender. Davion Mitchell, I think, is a better defender than both of them, but he's still there. There's a lot of concerns of defense. Next up is actually probably more shocking than the Lakers, that being the Phoenix Suns. Every team above, I think, I like more so in their depth, more so than the Suns. By golly, Chris Paul is still going to give you at least 10 points, 10 assists, if not 15 points, maybe even 20 points, along with 10 assists. Very little turnovers, playing elite defense. Devin Booker is going to get you buckets. He's still going to play really good defense. He's still going to get you quite a few assists. DeAndre Ayton is going to still be DeAndre Ayton, and that's where it starts to fall apart. Because Miles Bridges is a defensive player candidate every year from here on out. But his game overall is where the question marks start to come. DeAndre Ayton staying on the Suns is a question mark. That Sarver was not wanting to resign him, which I'm so glad that he's wanting to sell his team and sell him in the Mercuries. For the life of me, I cannot say the WNBA's team for Phoenix Mercuries. Anyways, in the end, it is not a good situation for the Suns. That I like Ayton, and I'm glad for the Suns that you guys resigned Ayton as a contract that was going to be pretty rough. I'm glad that you guys were willing to match that contract because it was going to be rough. But I also feel sorry for the Suns fans because that was going to be a very awkward situation, and it continues to be an awkward situation that Monty Williams is not wanting to talk to him. Chris Paul is not a big fan of him. None of the players seem like they're a big fan of Ayton, and it's just going to be awkward throughout the whole season until the trade deadline that possibly the Pacers might go and trade to get Ayton if things are going this bad. They go from the number 1 seed to a play-in tournament team, that'd be rough. So that's where I question the Suns, and I could see this possibly happening. For the Trailblazers, going from them being the 11th seed or the 11th team in the Western Conference to a play-in tournament team, again, I like the depth more so for the other teams above. For the fact that Damian Lillard is getting older, it's going to take some time for Shaedon Sharpe to develop his game. Fernie Simons is a stud, but again, takes some time to develop his game. I like Nurkic coming back, and then also they went and got Jeremy Grant for only having to give up a 2025 second round pick. They got really good depth. Josh Hart coming off the bench. I do like them a lot, but again, I like the depth a little bit more so for the other teams. For as far as offense and defense, they have a lot of good depth, more so than the Trailblazers. There's one team that I kind of want to say that I want to say doesn't has about the same amount of depth as Trailblazers, but we'll get into that after a bit. New Orleans Pelicans, Alvarado, C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, Valanciunas. I feel like I'm missing a couple other players. That's 7 there alone. I think I'm missing like a couple other key ones. Oh, also Phoenix Suns fans, before I get into the Pelicans, you guys are going to love Dwayne Washington. Consistent scorer, willing to want to push the tempo. You guys are going to love him as a player. But the Pelicans, I love the depth. Again, I named 7 players. That alone is going to be huge. And then be able to get Zion Williamson. Did I say Valanciunas already? Yeah, I already said Valanciunas. I love Valanciunas a lot. Underrated center. Alvarado is going to be an amazing off-ball pass defender at the 2. C.J. McCollum as a ball handler at the 1 is going to be great. Brandon Ingram's a bucket. Zion Williamson coming back from his injuries. And his to be honest, a little bit overweight and him be slimmer. It's going to be healthier for him. I like them at the 7th seed. And then probably they'll easily win their first game, and then they'll be able to make it to the they'll continue to be the 7th seed and not have to worry about being eliminated. So next up is 5 through 6, and the 6th is the Dallas Mavericks. Again, just like the team below, I like their depth quite a bit, but I do wonder about the depth at the same time. As far as another go-to scorer, Spencer Dinwiddie did tear it up during the playoffs. Luka Doncic is on a whole nother level than a lot of these teams, and their star player, he's just a different breed. I like Christian Wood. Didn't have to give up much. I think that was a 2026 first round pick. Boban Marjanovic. Was it Maxi Kleber? I think they got rid of. Was that Dwight Powell? One of those two. It might have been both. But they didn't have to give up much to get Christian Wood. They signed JaVale McGee. Some great rim protection for them. Dorian Finney-Smith, I'm curious to see if they continue to try to have him be in the post, which is weird. Outside of those people I just mentioned, I don't know much about their depth is what worries me. But Luka Doncic, I couldn't do it to myself to get him any lower than the 6th seed. I want to I wanted to throw the Mavericks down here in the play-in tournament and switch the Trailblazers up to 6th. But Luka Doncic is just a different breed, a different player, and I love him a lot. You guys saw some of it, the 2 through 4. But the Timberwolves, Another player that just is a different player that is an absolute stud. That's Anthony Edwards. Is one of the reasons as to why I had them at 5th. I question the Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns duo front court. D'Angelo Russell, I question because they have not re-signed him a long-term contract. They did do that with Karl-Anthony Towns. And then their depth, they lost a lot doing that Rudy Gobert trade. They went and traded away. Well, they actually did get Taylor Horton Tucker for Patrick Beverley. That was huge. I love that, actually, now I think about it. And then you can slide Anthony Edwards to the 2, Taylor Horton Tucker to the 3. That's not bad. Again, I question their three-point shooting. Their defense is going to be amazing. Their playmaking is going to be pretty good. And so I like them at the fifth one. And I question the long-term future of the Timberwolves because they get 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. And so the Jazz in the future is going to be an amazing team. They're going to be like a top 3 team for the future. Right now, though, for this upcoming season, Timberwolves are significantly higher. It's not even close. And here is 2 through 4. And anybody that really pays attention to the NBA already knows who number 1 is. We'll talk about these 3 teams, and then we'll hop to number 1, and that'll be the end of this video. I had flipped these all 4 teams pretty much all around quite a bit, but I moved the Grizzlies down further because I question their defense. I was trying to see if I had a burp there, but I question their defense still. The rim protection is there with Jaren Jackson Jr., but he doesn't rebound well. Steven Adams doesn't rim protect, but he rebounds well. It's kind of like that dynamic duo of Turner and Sabonis that we had in Indiana, where you didn't really have one player specifically doing both. It wasn't one player like a Rudy Gobert that does rim protection and gets rebounds. I do like Dylan Brooks quite a bit. I question his defense for the fact that he seems to become like a kind of a dirty player. Hopefully he doesn't do that too much more. I like Desmond Bane from Richmond, Indiana. He actually tore us apart. Mike from ZKM Sports Talk talked about him quite a bit. He tore us up a new one in Indiana. He wanted to come out and show that we should have taken him because he fell really far in the draft when he got drafted. I wish we had got him, but he's an absolute stud. And, of course, John Morant, an MVP candidate for the rest of his career. He's taken the Grizzlies from absolutely tanking and getting him to being a top 4 seed probably for the rest of his career. He's an absolute stud. I love Kenny Lofton a lot. I love that pickup. They kept Brandon Clark, of course. I know there's some other good studs for the Grizzlies. I want to see Aldama continue to try to improve his role and try to get some minutes. Same with Zaire Williams. So they got a lot of depth. I just want to see them continue to work together to try to be a top 2 seed, if not be the number 1 seed, to get that opportunity to go to the finals. I would love to see John Morant and company win a title. It would be awesome. The Clippers, I mean, you're not able to go wrong with a healthy Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. You have John Wall that's out all of last year, come back, and he signed on a close to, if not a veteran minimum contract that wants to prove that he's still a top point guard in the NBA. Zubac, Reggie Jackson, and Eric Bledsoe, they have great depth, and you're not able to argue with a healthy Kawhi and a healthy Paul George, 2 of the best wing defending players in the NBA. healthy, with both of them being healthy with John Wall, they should be easily top 3, if not number 1. You could argue. I was this close to having the Denver Nuggets at 1. I love Jamal Murray coming back. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. coming back. And the Nuggets were a 6th seed, lost 4-1 against the team that we have at number 1, which I'll go ahead and show them off. That being the Golden State Warriors. I like the depth of the Denver Nuggets. They gave up some depth of Will Barton and Monte Morris, but I read some of the comments from the Wizards and the Nuggets that the Wizards liked the 3-point shooting and the defense that Contavious Caldwell-Pope brought, and then the Nuggets were happy to get rid of Monte Morris and Will Barton to get KCP because he was more consistent at shooting 3-pointers and playing good defense. Monte Morris is a good guard, point guard, shooting guard combo. Same with Will Barton as shooting guard, small forward combo. They're good, but they're not consistent enough, and KCP will bring that at the 2. You have Aaron Gordon at the 4. I question their depth because off rip, Bones Highland they still have. They lost DeMarcus Cousins. Bol is on the Magic now, so I worry about their depth. But you have the reigning back-to-back MVP in Nikola Jokic, and he was missing Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., a top two players that are like top easily 15 players in the league. That to have them back, they're going to be pushing for a top 3 seed, if not. Again, you could argue being number 1 seed. And then, finally, that being the Golden State Warriors. Again, right before this video, I started recording this, I was, again, this close to having the Nuggets at 1, like last year. And then I have Golden State Warriors. I was going to have Golden State Warriors at 2. But the depth, again, is astronomically better than pretty much every team below. Steph Curry, the reigning Finals MVP, who broke the 3-point record, who is going to continue to shoot 3-pointers. He's going to shoot 300 3-pointers a year for the next 5 years. Have 4,500 3-pointers by the time his career is over. Klay Thompson, a fully healthy Klay Thompson. Andrew Wiggins. The reason why I'm worried about the Warriors is Draymond Green and him punching Jordan Poole. Is he going to end up leaving the Golden State Warriors? There are talks of him going to the Los Angeles Lakers to play with LeBron. That's what worries me. But he's still on the team. He did not get suspended. He got fined. And then you have Kevon Looney at the 5. You have Jordan Poole. You have Kuminga. You have James Wiseman coming back from his injuries. And then Iguodala and his veteran leadership. And then Moses Moody, too, of course. So they have amazing depth. And the future for them is looking pretty bright still, too. Even if Curry and Klay Thompson want to retire the next 3 to 4 years, Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman are going to step up and they're going to continue to have success. And so that is going to be my Western Conference predictions for the 2022-2023 season. And a couple days ago, I did the Eastern Conference video, which I'll leave a link in the description of that video. And then towards the end of this season, we'll come back. We'll react to this video. We'll react to the Eastern Conference video. And then starting tomorrow for you guys and myself, Saturday, we will be starting up the NBA 2K23 My Career Playoffs starting tomorrow for you guys. With all this being said, on this video right here, and I'll talk to you guys later.